okay, let me like hear more. But she was constantly pushing to like do the show. We're gonna come back and show them. Like we don't, and then she was like, yeah, we'll talk about it on the show, was the first thing she said.
Talk about it on the show. She wanted to do the podcast. This woman is crazy. Hello everyone, I'm Alex. Friendly reminder that the clothing is officially out on Friday, the 26th of September, so if you want to go ahead to internetsensation.shop and pick up one of the new hoodies or t-shirts or socks or something a little extra on there, then it'll be available then. Thank you. So in today's video, we're looking at Trisha Paytas and Colleen Ballinger again, because Trisha Paytas has come out and revealed more information from her side on what is going on here, and it involves Colleen saying she wanted to like carry on doing the podcast even during the controversy. So she was gonna like ride out everything, even like knowing that she had like horrifically messed up Trisha Paytas by sending private pictures of her to minors. She was like willing to carry on, which is crazy to me. Friendly reminder that if you are new here, please subscribe. I greatly appreciate it. And YouTube has been unsubscribing people, so make sure that that's not you, because that would kind of suck. Let's look at this. Let's go straight into it and listen to what she has to say.
Just gets counted as like, oh, cancel culture is awful and cancel culture got her. It's like when I heard JoJo Siwa on How You Mandel's podcast, like seeing like, you know, a lot of people were got hurt by this cancellation. I'm like, this isn't a cancellation. Like, it's just not a cancellation, period. Like, she left the internet and like, I guess canceled herself, but it's like, there's so much to this that like people just, there's no accountability. That's what I'm saying. Like, there's none whatsoever, not even an inkling of like, okay, I hurt people, I'm sorry, or oh man, this sucks, like I shouldn't, you know, like even her line of like, you know, where she's just like, you know, I'm not a groomer, just a loser. Like, she really could have just been like, hey guys, like I was thinking in this mentality, like I'm so sorry, like I hurt people. Like,
Trisha is 100% right. It is mental, by the way, that JoJo Siwa is not sat on the side of somebody who's done like a standard YouTube apology where they've gone, look, I messed up, I shouldn't have done it, you know, I'll learn from this and I'll move on. No, JoJo Siwa is defending somebody whose response as a grown adult to grooming allegations was to go like a freak. Okay, I'm putting this away because any YouTuber who touches one of those now is permanently tainted. So I should probably move that off my setup. It is crazy though that somebody did a YouTube response video to grooming allegations by singing a song, and JoJo Siwa went, look how hurt they are. They're singing. It actually seems like they've worryingly not taken it seriously enough, which is kind of the whole problem everybody has with the crazy woman. It still goes down as one of like the most unhinged moments a YouTuber has ever done ever, and she can never return to the internet because of that. I honestly think if she'd apologized in any other way, she still makes like millions of dollars a year, whereas now, really, she will forever be known as the grooming ukulele woman. Whether like half of that information ever comes to light properly, who knows? She's just made herself famous, right? Like, most people aren't even going to do the research into the topics. They're not going to watch videos like this one. So they're not going to actually know what she did. They just think that she's a bit loopy.
Why can't you just give that like little bit of apology and closure to these people who are like still severely hurt by it? You know what I mean? And it's like, to have your friend, who is your friend since she was 12 years old and you were 27, like defend you like this, and someone who's really well liked by children, by the way, is like, it's so frustrating. It's so unbelievably frustrating and like hurtful. And I don't even consider myself like obviously like one of these child victims that were like involved, the people who were hurt, you know, the girl on the stage when she was 16, Adam McIntyre, the people in the group chat doing the tampon challenge. Like, it's just crazy to me how this gets like swept under and almost like joked about. I don't know. It's just like weird. I don't know.
I didn't even know about the people in the group chat doing the tampon challenge. That's not something I've even heard of in my escapades, and I've watched hours of content on this stuff. So, hey, that just proves my point. Most people won't even be aware of half the stuff, and I am, like, chronically online, right? Like you guys at home. I've got nothing going on. But Trisha is a victim. Like, she is a victim in this situation. She's not a child victim, but she is a victim regardless. It's also crazy because we've now had the video come out with Swoop, where she interviewed the ex-husband, who talked about how Colleen Ballinger would just like make up lies and send them to Shane Dawson. Why is that man always involved? I mean, I've had some like weird interactions. Like, I've seen him do weird things. Like, I once saw him send out an email en masse about another YouTuber to other commentary channels. I was not one of them. And I saw him send that email out to loads and loads of YouTubers talking about how like that YouTuber was like an alleged offender, and that was kind of crazy. Like I witnessed that. YouTubers do crazy things to people, especially in LA. It's a very weird kind of place, you know, and all that information is public now. You know, I know drama channels have talked about how Shane Dawson tried to like befriend them to try and get them on his side in like negative situations, and you know what, it worked for a long time, which is crazy. Ever since then, I've always found all of those LA guys to be really weird. Like when I saw stuff like that, and like when I've been there and I've met YouTubers, like massive famous YouTubers who were friends with all those guys, and they've spoken to me about how scared they are of certain content creators and like how cutthroat it is. I was just like, wow, it's like the mafia. It's like makeup videos, but you die if you speak against the family.
Here's the thing. I think JoJo in general tries to be like super positive, right? And I think if that's the stance she was gonna have, should have just like avoided talking about it. And I get, like, I'm trying to get like her perspective on it, right? And I imagine like you said, since she was 12 years old, growing up, like she's collabed with them, gone on vacations with them. She's been like a part of that whole circle. So I know that there has to be like a sense of loyalty to them. And then there's an element of like, that can't be true because I know them and I know that they would never, I know that she would never do that.
Yeah, that's 100% what it is. I doubt that she's like even looked into anything. I doubt she's read anything. But I've seen that a million, billion, trillion times over, where somebody gets outed for being like one of like the most terrible people committing like misconduct, to say the least. And I have seen friends of that person just be like, hey man, I don't really know what's going on, but he's my mate. And it's like, well, he shouldn't be, right? Is that the type of company that you want to keep? Is that the type of company that I personally want to keep? People have this thing where, yeah, you should be loyal to your friends and you should be good to your mates. And then there are certain things that when they do, they're no longer your mates anymore. One of the things that Colleen Ballinger did, you know, grooming children, allegedly, that's something that would make me cut ties with somebody pretty much instantly. I'd be like, no, thank you. I don't really fuck with that. Especially if the evidence is overwhelming, I'd be like, absolutely no way. And if I've seen it with my own eyes and what I've seen from Colleen Ballinger, I'd be like, I could never be friends with you. I don't care how many videos you've made. I don't care how cool we're meant to be, because you make me feel physically sick when I'm around you. I'm somebody who's actually, you know, been physically harassed in the street. It was an awful time. So when somebody I know does that, I'm kind of like, I don't want to fucking be around you. Just leave me alone. And that's why I'm going to, you know, get the fuck out of any place where YouTubers are. I'm going to move away. I'm going to move away from them. They're scary people. And JoJo Siwa isn't really being like defending Colleen because she didn't have a fucking clue what she was saying in that podcast. She's more just being a moron. You know, JoJo, like, I get that your brand's safe and everything's all positive and happy, but saying everybody should get along after your friend has groomed somebody is like not smart, right? It's not clever to be like, oh man, cancel culture sucks. They should be in prison. Oh, let me out. That's what they should be in. Jojo, it's not cancel culture. Your friends should be in jail. They're lucky that they're not in jail. They've actually gotten away with it. You should actually be over the moon for them. You should be like, oh, well done. You got away with it. If that's what you want to do, which makes you a sick human being, I never got that. Like, you're not a good friend because you stick with your mate who's just like a morally terrible person. Okay? You're not like, oh man, we stick together for fin and fin, even if you are a sexual predator. You're both probably weird. So, you know, if it was me, you know, there's overwhelming evidence here against Colleen Ballinger, I would be like, hey man, I don't fuck with that shit. Also, she was a kid. So she's probably in denial about the fact that she was groomed into a friendship too. She probably doesn't think that it's that mental. And the thing is about JoJo Siwa being groomed into a friendship, Colleen made fuckloads of money off of that. Yeah? Like, loads of money, like loads of bloody cash. So JoJo Siwa should actually be like, oh fuck, she fucking used me because I was a kid. And she's using her now to defend herself by getting like a famous person to be like, it's not that big of a deal. It's a huge fucking deal. She should probably be in fucking jail, but she won't go because she's a YouTuber. And apparently they're immune. Sorry, I'm passionate about this. This shit fucking annoys me because I have so many mind-numbing conversations with YouTubers where they're like, yeah, but he's my mate. And I'm like, did you read the fucking allegations? Did you read like the 7 TikTok videos that were posted about that fucker? And they go, no. And I go, read his DMs. Read the fucking DMs, man. Read the fucking DMs. And then come back to me. Or fuck off. I don't want to hear from you. Like, don't tell me what I should be doing. Like, I've read the DMs. I think this person fucking sucks. Don't go up to me and be like, oh, I don't know. Maybe he didn't do it. They probably said they did if you asked them. Most YouTubers just admit it, like Colleen did, and like by singing on the ukulele. She didn't exactly go, these are fake. She just went, toxic, gossip train. It was mental. That's who you're defending.
There's just so much evidence that you have to like kind of set aside the person you think you know versus like who they are and what they've done to other people. You know, there's that element to it.
Which it kind of almost is like, because they were friends at such a young age, it's like, it's almost as if it's like, yeah, you're so attached. You're so like, the only reason I use the word manipulation is because like, I feel like I have kind of a unique like perspective on the situation because I was also friends with Colleen when this happened. And I did also feel some sort of like, oh, I know Colleen, or like, she never brought this up before. I never seen her do this. Like, but the manipulation I felt by her, and I truly do, and I don't use that term loosely at all. Like I really don't use manipulation like loosely, but I feel like I know I was manipulated, and like I think that's why I have so much anger still. And I feel like I see this almost with JoJo, like it's manipulation. She's saying, oh, these are all lies. Well, she wasn't there in the situation. She's not involved, unless she was in these group chats or whatever like that, which she didn't say anything to. But the only person who could be telling you that these are lies are someone that's involved. So Colleen and these people are involved. And how do I know this? Because she's telling me this. I'm like, oh, like, did you like, and I was so nice about it when I first heard the stuff about the pictures being sent to Johnny and, allegedly to Adam. I brought it up to her and she's like, oh my gosh, what? No, they were like your fans. Like they were sending me pictures. And I was like, guys, and sometimes I would do like one word response, like, okay, like such crazy lies when she knew that this was like out there. And then later confirming it to me, so it's no longer a lie. Like she confirmed this happened. So-
yeah, that's mental. To like have the DMs just be like readable. As I was just saying, like it's a crazy situation when you could just like pull up the receipts of the chat conversations and like prove that the person is lying, and they will sit there and be like, "No, man, no, I swear they were older than 15," and you're sat there being like, "I can read the dates on these. You're a fucking liar," and they'll be like, "No," and I'm like, yes. That is YouTubers. They will fucking lie forever. They really don't want to let go of their little fucking fandom that they've created. But to lie to your face like that and be like, I didn't do that shit, Trisha. I didn't send your nude to the group chat, when there are literally fucking like almost like 4 or 5 screenshots where doing it. Loopy behavior. What a crazy woman.
But I was also manipulated. I was thinking like, okay. So I was like, at the time I'm like, well, we should at least talk about it if we were, because she kept pushing to come back with the podcast. And when I started like really like listening to this stuff, I was kind of like, I don't know. And like, yes, being a skeptic, being her friend, being an influencer, yes, lies are told about you. So you're just like, okay, let me like hear more. But she was constantly pushing to like do the show. We're going to come back and show them. Like we don't, and then she was like, yeah, we'll talk about it on the show, was the first thing she said.
Yeah, that's insane behavior. Like to want to carry on doing the podcast with one of the people who, like more and more information is going to come out against. I guess it's like hiding in plain sight. If you sit there and the other person's like willing to sit there and smile along, you can just kind of be like, yeah, everything's like fine. Like everything's cool, man. Like, there's no problems. There's no issues. Trisha is here, so how can any of it be true? She's one of the people apparently I've done something so terrible to, and she likes me. It's the big thing that Shane Dawson used to do, and it's weird. Like, if you truly don't like somebody, just don't hang out with them, right? Saves everybody so much time and heartache. And all of your friends will probably appreciate there being less drama. I've seen people where, they fucking hate each other and they just won't stop hanging out. And I'm like, what is going on? Just don't do it. It's YouTube though. The shit just goes down a lot in this little town of ours.
Let's not even talk about it. We'll just come back so we can show them like, look, we're friends, like this kind of stuff. And I was like, that's when it started feeling icky to me, because I'm like, why is she pushing coming back so much when she herself hasn't said anything? Wanting me to be the first to put out there to test the waters to see how it goes. It was so manipulative. And I would just like, really hate her so much for.
Wow, she used Trisha as like a canary. I think she probably, by the way, associated herself with Trisha Paytas because Trisha is a controversial figure. And I think she associated herself with Trisha because then, if Trisha's uncancelable with all of the stuff that she's done, and she still has a massive fan base, I think Colleen's next step in her career was to become this like edgy comedian who like used to push boundaries and do some crazy shit, but she clearly didn't get enough time to implement that in with the podcast. Because I remember Trisha, like, she wasn't really likable. She's flawed, and I think people like that. You know, she does have flaws, just like everybody on here. And Trisha hasn't really hid them very well. They're all very public, and it's all quite crazy. And she's definitely done some stuff that I don't fucking like. But at this point, do I dislike Trisha Paytas? No, because she's a person on the internet. But it's one of those things where I've seen the story of her going from hated to loved. And she's already had a core fan base, but the core fan base now is very big. And I think Colleen saw that and went, I want a slice of that cake. I'll eat chicken nuggets on the floor with you and cry. But she didn't get there because, number one, she's too cringe, and she's not actually as funny as Trisha. The fact that Colleen is the comedian out of both of them is upsetting because Trisha is considerably more talented in many ways, and I can't believe I'm saying that, but it is, you know, undeniably true. She just wanted to use her, man. That's all she wanted from this. Absolutely crazy behavior. Well, thank you guys for watching this video. If you guys did enjoy it, don't forget to leave a like and subscribe if you're new. I greatly appreciate that. The merch is out on the 29th of September. A whole clothing line will be available. This is the first one out of many. We've got like at least 5 coming up if you buy it. So if you want to see all of them, then that would be cool. I'd appreciate it. If you want to click on the videos on the end screen, they're like next to me. So that'd be sick. And I will see you guys at another video soon. And yeah, bye.